This is Pop Culture Confidential, and I'm Christina Yerling Biru. Welcome everyone, bonjour! The Cannes 2026 lineup has officially arrived, and let me tell you, it's amazing. I'm so excited about this year's Cinematic Fest. And joining me to break down the hottest highlights, the must-see moments, the man who rules the croisette, whether he's ordering the perfect martini or outsmarting the ticketing system, it's the one and only Ryan Mcquade of Awardswatch. Welcome.
Aha! It's time for the Cannes Film Festival. No, I shouldn't do stereotypical French accents, but we're talking about the Cannes lineup, so it's okay. Just for a little bit.
It's okay. Just once in a while.
If I did that over there, they'd kill me. Yeah. So
we'll allow Al Pacino, and we'll allow a little bit of French.
Oh, you want me to have a baguette? Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the 79th edition of the festival, which is starting on May 12th. The jury is led by Park Chan-wook, of course, the absolutely fantastic director, Old Boy, Handmaiden. The lineup looks amazing to me. We have fewer studio films and American films, several French language debuts, which sound interesting. Spain has a great showing this year. Neon, of course, already getting their movies online for the Oscars with several titles. So there's a lot of things going on. My thought, Ryan, is that we will go through several sections. We don't have to do every single movie because you and I will be there, and I'm sure we'll talk about this so many times, but our highlights, what we most want to see, and then at the end we can do a little discussion on roundup of how we feel the themes and other things from the festival are going. Why don't we start with In Competition? Tell me one of the ones that you're looking forward to, and I'll do the next one.
Okay. Well, I'm really excited by this In Competition lineup. I think it's really great. There's a lot of notable names and a lot of big titles. I think the first one I want to mention is my most anticipated film of the festival. And Christina, you're going to have to say Christian Mungiu's title to me a couple of times so I get this right. And it's Fjord?
Fjord.
Fjord. Okay. So Christian Mungiu, a fantastic director, who feels like he's about to have his moment, right? There's a lot of projection.
He won the Palme d'Or, right? For 4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days.
Yes, exactly. He won the Palme many years ago for 4 months, 3 weeks, 2 days. And he's had films like Beyond the Hills and Graduation and RMN show up in and around the international film festivals. And this is, I think, going to be his, if that was a breakthrough, this is like an even bigger breakthrough because this has, I think, potential to be a movie we're going to talk about all season long, including into the Oscar season. And in this film, of course, stars Sebastian Stan and Renata Rensva of Sentimental Value, kind of re-teaming of A Different Man, this lineup. And it's about an immigrant
so
Romanian
happy to
family.
See her so quickly again.
Exactly. Because, she has this and she has that other film from A24 from that YouTube director that will come out in the summer. Not here, but anyway, about an immigrant Romanian family living in Norway. I'm very curious about this film. All we have is the image of a family photo of them with like 5 or 6 children, and Sebastian Stan bald, but he's it's not going to be English. It's
no, he's Romanian, Sebastian Stan.
Yes. I'm very curious about this. I think that this movie has all the potential of also, because it's a Neon title as well, to be potentially our Palme d'Or winner. Just really excited to see these two movie stars, back in Cannes, and for Sebastian Stan, who, when he's not kicking ass as Bucky Barnes, he makes really fascinating, interesting choices. And this could be a conversation for the both of them to be in the Oscar conversation, as well as also just being a chance for Mungiu, who is a very, very good filmmaker, to take that next step in his career. And so this has got, all on paper, it's got everything you want. And yeah, it's going to be the one that I think that will be the hot ticket out of the festival.
I have a couple more hot tickets that are that's definitely one for me. I will go on to mention Fatherland by Pawlikowski, the Polish director, who's of course best known for Cold War and Eda. Another actress who is having quite a year, Sandra Hüller, is is starring with Hans Zischler. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that uh, incorrectly, but it's about the Nobel Prize winning German novelist Thomas Mann and Erika Mann, and they embark on a road trip across Germany during the Cold War. Cinematography by our favorite Lucas Schall, who we just saw do Hamnet, and of course, he's worked with Powell before. I think this could be, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, talking with Lucas Jean a little bit last year when we saw him at parties and stuff. I got to. I sometimes you poke the bear just to see what you can get out. And I said, you don't have to tell me much, but how was it? And he just says, an extraordinary experience as always, but this one seems very special. And I think this one does. I mean, just that image alone. And I don't know, Christina, how much of Thomas Mann's work that you've read, but what a fantastic novelist. And Sandra Hüller, I mean, is she going to get like 6 Oscar nominations this year? Like, what are we
Yes.
talking about? I mean, she's like in every movie. And because she just won the top prize at Berlin, you know,
For
she's
Rose, right? It was,
for Rose, yes, which I mean sounds like a very interesting film as well. This film, as well as Pavel Pawlikowski, who with Ida and with Cold War is a big name in international cinema, and that's sort of traditional black and white photography that him and Lucas Jal have become known for is prominent within that one photo, and it just sounds like it's got all the goods too of being
everything
in
can
a
hold
movie
these.
that's going to devastate us, as well as also being about artists and having a parental relationship. I mean, a little bit of continuation potentially of the themes of last year, and of course with sentimental value, but then also this sort of road trip aspect, or this intimate portrait of a daughter and a father. I mean, it could be very, very good.
Hmm.
And put Pavel Pawlikowski back in palm contention. This is another big title out of this competition so
We're
far.
gonna get a few more father-daughter movies at the Cannes lineup and last year. This theme continues on in 2026. All right, tell me
Yes,
your
it does.
next one from the competition lineup.
All of a sudden,
Oh,
from Rimzuke Hamaguchi, which reportedly we've heard some rumblings of, is going to be another. Um, Christina, you ready for another long one? It could be 3 hours plus. This one, and this one, it's about two scholars who exchanged letters about chance and risk, and one of them falls ill, and the correspondence evolves into intimate discussions about morality and about the deeper connections that the two of them have. And this is with Virginia Efira, who best know for, I guess, for Benedetta, and Elle, and working with Paul Verhoeven on those films. I think that this has got potential also of being a very big film. Hamaguchi as well. His big breakthrough a couple years ago with Drive My Car.
yeah.
Evil Does Not Exist, which was a wonderful film that I saw out of when it was a U.S. or North American premiere at a TIFF. This guy, when he makes movies, he sort of announces himself again as this, like, these slow meditative looks into the soul. And I for one, it will be there for that premiere, and fully anticipating, um, seeing something special, regardless of how long it is. Like, I think the length of his film is not what matters. It's the themes and the depth in which he explores. And Virginia Fira, I mean, the thing that we've mentioned here in the first three, and I want to just say it really off the bat, is it is going to be a massive
Oh, the
fight
actresses?
for
Oh,
Best Actress.
yes.
I mean, there are so many
And more to
performances
come.
and more to come that we'll talk about. Um, so, and just these three alone, I mean, shit, these three alone could just be three performances we're talking about all year long because there's some of our great actresses that we have working today. But yeah, these directors, these male directors working with these talented female actors, you'd love to see it and giving them a chance to sort of platform their performances in their films.
Amazing. And this is one of the French language debuts that we have coming up at Cannes. So that's interesting. I'm going to take the one American who's in competition with The Man I Love by Ira Sachs, which sounds incredibly interesting. A musical fantasy starring Rami Malek, Tom Sturridge, Rebecca Hall, and Eben Moss-Backrack. The plot is it's an 80s period drama that follows an actor who's dying of AIDS and is preparing for his final film role. And according to the press release, in an extraordinary moment between great illness and death, still all beauty and love is possible. This sounds really amazing.
It
I guess,
does. It does. There's only one
but
problem. There's only one problem with it, and everybody knows what I'm going to say. So you just get it out of the way. Rami Malek,
Rami,
really? Yeah, like it's like Christina. Did you watch Nuremberg last year? Did you ever get
which
a
one?
chance to watch it? Nuremberg? Did you
Yes,
ever get a
yes,
chance to watch it?
yes.
So like that movie's actually pretty good. Like it's like it's for
It's
like
okay.
for for being like a,
It's
a
a TV
streamer
movie.
and yeah, it kind of moves at a good pace. That movie would have been a hell of a lot better if it wasn't with Rami Malek in it. And that's what I'm worried about here. It's like I love Virus Sachs. I mean he
Yeah,
just
because
had
this is
Peter
a big
Hojar's day
part if
last
you
year.
don't like it.
Yeah, this is huge. And I don't know. I have PTSD of Rami Malek in a
But this
musical
is not
performance with
Queen.
teeth. You know what I mean? And I know it's not Queen, but like, name a great performance or good performance he's had since.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It's
agree.
so
I mean,
this is gonna be this is gonna test that theory a little bit. But if anybody I guess can pull a good performance out of it would be Ira Sachs, who I think is a wonderful filmmaker, but I'm just so nervous about this thing. And yeah, as of now, being the only American film in competition, um, yeah, I'm a little like just kind of like, what is this movie gonna be? It sounds very ambitious, sounds very emotional, but Rami Malek,
okay.
yeah.
All right. We'll see if you're proved wrong. Go ahead with another one.
Can I tell you the one I think that's going to be the talk of the festival?
Yes.
And I think that this is has the one that has the potential to be uh really like the one that surprises us the most, and that's Harari, right?
Hmm.
Is that how you
I
say his
think
name?
so. Yeah.
His film The Unknown. And if you don't know Harari, he's the co-writer of Anatomy of a Fall with Justine Triet.
And
And Triet
partner. They're
and
married or
yeah,
together, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in this film, I'll read the plot of this. And so photographer David Zimmerman rarely leaves home until friends bring him to a wild party. He becomes fixated on a mysterious woman and follows her. By dawn, his life transforms. He awakens in her body. So a body swap film,
Love it.
fast, a male obsession, female identity, a lot of ideas going on in here. Film stars Leia Seydoux, and Neil Schneider. I'm really, really looking forward to this. Eric and I were talking about this one. It's like every now and then again they have a film that is either controversial or a hot button topic or whatnot. This I haven't read the novel, which
The
is
graphic
which is
novel.
which is from Harari's brother who wrote it. No, only a French translation, folks, not an American translation yet, and not an English translation. But reading a lot about it from people online and having discussions of it, this is going to be one you and I and many will be having
Hmm.
conversations in line as we're waiting for other things, I fear. I'm giving, sort of the substance vibe. I'm giving, obviously, just I mean, it's a movie about gender,
Hmm.
which, I mean, feels very much up Can's alley. But for this to be in competition, just to keep a lookout for it. It could be one that surprises enough people and pulls off the palm win.
So excited for that one. Um, I'm gonna take one of our favorites, I would say, Ryan, and that's Kore-eda,
Oh
Sheep
yeah.
in the Box. This is the Japanese auteur's. I don't know how many times he's been at Cannes at this point. Do you know?
I mean, it feels like he's like there a ton.
Yeah,
Um,
he won the Palme d'Or for Shoplifters, and that I know, but then potentially more. Anyway, this is also
and
a
Broker was
sci-fi.
there, I
Yeah,
think.
broke.
Yeah, and so he's a good little staple there. Yeah.
So this is a sci-fi fantasy. The plot, reading it is Shape in the Box, tackles AI. Grieving parents adopt a humanoid when their son dies. So possibly we've been in this realm before with a few movies, but in the hands of Kore-eda, I'm not worried that this will be something else and really emotional.
I'm very curious about it. Kore-eda's a director I like. I don't have the like the love factor for him that I think a lot of people on film Twitter do. But every time I watch one of his movies, I then get very emotionally invested in him. It's to be very interesting,
I think he's just
sort of
so
an
good at family dynamics and that characters in his films that have always appealed very much to me.
yes, he is. He's great at these sort of lost or found families that
Hmm.
emerge these deeper themes for the characters. And I think his one of his last films, Monster,
Hmm.
was just an incredible
That
film.
was a
And
pearl of a film. I was so taken by that.
and that's the other thing too, is like he makes like it feels like a movie every year, every other year, something like that, and we just don't, and we just take him for granted, I think.
Oh, I think
So
they've been lovely. I mean, that was one of my favorites of that year, Monster.
so I'm looking forward to this. A little bit more of like a wait and see on it, just because I saw the images and I was like, God, that kind of looks a little cheap, but but then I know that he's gonna. It's not about like what you see; it's about what you feel with him, which is, I mean, what you want. So, um, I'm going to talk about someone I know we both love as well, and that's Pedro Almodóvar, and that of course is Bitter Christmas. Which, I mean, is such the log line just for alone is such an Almodovar film. A woman being abandoned by her partner during Christmas time. It's a Christmas movie
It's a Christmas movie.
Pedro Almodovar, with all the melodrama. Gotta say, very funny to read out of the. Okay, people probably don't know this about me, but it's true. I really hate CinemaCon. I really think it's a stupid thing for journalists to cover. It's not for us at all. It's for the theaters. And we have I think us as journalists, we have no business covering that. Like, just cover, we all cover what's coming out earlier in the year in our anticipated films lists and stuff. We don't need to be there. So, like, hearing, and this is a perfect example, hearing that Sony Pictures Classic debuted the trailer for Bitter Christmas, like a new trailer at CinemaCon, and people were confused, like like they'd never seen an Almodovar film before. I'm like, yeah, you guys flew all the way to Vegas to see a trailer. I'm flying all the way to Cannes to see the actual movie. So that's where the priorities of people that cover that festival go. Anyway, Almodovar, one of my favorite directors, stepping away from the English language films that he did for the short film and for The Room Next Door, going back to his roots, you know, female melodrama. We love it. Him being back in Cannes, we love it. Almodovar just, he's going to deliver the goods, Christina. This guy
Well,
rarely
I'm worried
misses.
about it. I'm worried
You're
about it
worried
because
about it.
because it's already debuted in Spain. It's in
Well, that
theaters,
usually happens for some
and
of his films
yeah,
that I
but the
like.
reviews are mixed.
Well, those people,
The
they,
Spaniards,
those Spaniards, they take everybody
they
for
take
granted. You know what I
Almodóvar
mean?
for granted.
Well,
We'll see.
I got to tell you this, and I know you're gonna go. People were mixed on a lot of films that came out of Cannes last year. Like I had fun with Highest to Lowest. I think you did for the most part, outside of the score. You know what I
Oh,
mean? And
well,
then
that was.
a lot of people didn't
I
like
like
it.
the
I mean,
second part.
remember that? Remember the jerk journalist who, the French jerk journalist who was like called it the worst movie ever. And I'm like, I think you know, I think your racial biases are speaking louder than your, actual journalistic integrity. But then like I liked some people didn't like Nouvelle Vague, but we did, and I
Hmm.
liked and some people
Well, I
didn't
mean,
like
I'm
Venetian Scheme.
Almodóvar is one of my big cinematic loves, so it's not that, but it is. What we're getting out of the premiere there is kind of feeling it. Is it a mid tier Almodóvar, or is it?
Well,
We'll see.
that's very true, but I loved The Room Next Door, and I know that a lot of people were very mixed on that film as well. So um, I just take it with a grain of salt. I go in there and and judge them on my own. Those Spaniards, they take people for granted.
Well, while we're
I'm not gonna.
talking about Spaniard, let me talk about one of the other ones because Spain has an incredible showing this year, and
Yes,
that's
they do.
El Ser Querido by Rodrigo Sorogoyen. I'm not familiar with him before. It stars Javier Bardem. Let me read you the plot and see if it rings, if you get
If I feel
anything out of
anything,
it.
yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Relationship between an acclaimed film director and his daughter, a struggling actress. They share a difficult past that neither wants to discuss until they shoot a film together after years of estrangement. Ring any bells?
I never heard anybody use that kind of story before. It's first time. And you know what? Congratulations on being the first to get to that. Like that's
But feels
really something special.
incredibly close to sentimental value, I must say.
Yes, it yes it does.
It's
Like there's
basically if you just change it. So I'm supposing it will be different, but it feels very much like this is the theme of the past year. But Javier Bardem is always great. Not familiar with this director, is new to me, so we'll see.
yes as well. I mean, I don't know if he can turn a movie around that quick with the same plot and everything. It just goes back to show you, Christina, is that it's on the mind of everybody. It really is it's everybody's got their family issues and dramas that they're trying to talk about, and mining that emotional space, right? It'd
But
be very interesting.
while we're on Spain, let me just do the third one because it's like the whole family is involved. There's another one. It's called La Bola Negra. It's produced by
Hmm.
Almodóvar and it stars Bardem's wife, Penelope Cruz, and Glenn Close, Javier Calvo and Javier Ambrosi. This sounds really interesting because it's based on one of Garcia Lorca's unfinished works. I don't think it ever came
Hmm.
out. It weaves the lives of three men intimately linked by sexuality, desire, pain, and inheritance. Family drama of some sort. With this one, I actually feel of the three Spanish titles, this is the one I feel mostly I'm looking forward to.
I think that this could be absolutely special. Also, Ambrosi and Calvo, they're were formerly in a relationship. They're now the creative partners. Um, it sounds very interesting.
Can we now
Weaving,
just call them the Javiers?
I think so. I
We should
mean,
get that.
if we can call those other lugheads the
The
Daniels, we can call them the Javiers, right? I think that I think this has got the potential to be really special, really beautiful. Um, Kind of felt like that we didn't get enough films exploring the LGBTQIA plus community last year at most film festivals, and so this one seems to have the goods along with some others to really be a very queer forward way of way of exploring some of these films in competition.
And Glenn
Um,
Close.
and Glenn Close, yeah,
What if she
probably
gets her
just a,
Oscar off of a Spanish movie?
I'm really, okay. Yeah. When is she just gonna hang it up? Like, when are we just gonna hang it up for
When
her?
Diane
'Cause
Warren hangs up the
that's
competitive
fair.
Oscar
That's fair.
wreath.
But there's something about like Diane Warren where it's every year and it just feels like a very fun joke at this point. And like with Glenn Close, it just feels like we silent minority here, right? Like just are clinging a bell to a woman that just wants to work. So um who knows? I mean, they just can give her an honorary one and just be done with it. Like it's fine. Like I feel bad for her. Like it's like her and Harrison Ford, just give them honorary Oscars so they have something. Like don't
Hmm.
don't give them let them wait around because it's you know life's too short. You know what I mean? Um, I'm looking forward and very interested in Lucas Daunt's new
Oh,
film.
yes.
Been a while since I've seen a Lucas Daunt film.
Did you like
Um,
Closer?
I I did. Um, I liked it. I didn't love it. I know a lot of people loved it, and
I also liked
so
it, didn't love it, but I see his filmmaking, you know,
it's sort of
prowess.
evolving. It was a very much like an evolution for him because I felt like he was sort of stuck doing the same thing, and it felt like like a chance for him to evolve as a filmmaker. I think a lot of people really respected it. This one, is called Coward, and it's about a young Belgian soldier who's trying to prove himself on the battlefield during the First World War, and sort of asking questions about morality. So it's a war film. I wonder if it'll explore, sexuality, or if it'll explore toxic masculinity, or what it'll do for Dante there, who is such a very fascinating voice in world cinema. For him to be back in competition, it's not a surprise. I think there was some questions as to whether it'd be ready, and but it is, and I'm looking forward to seeing his latest film. He again, I think, even though I didn't fully vibe with Closer all the way, it was a step up for him, and to see how that if this is taking another step for him, that could be big for him as well.
Oscar Farhadi, Iranian director, has his French language film, Parallel Tales, starring again Virginia Fira, who you just mentioned in another movie, Isabelle Huppert and Vincent Cassel, a movie about a young man who becomes infatuated with an older woman. Um, Sounds interesting. I don't know much more about it. Do you?
Well, I just want hope that it's his story and not somebody else's. It just because this last film um sparked a controversy. And but I don't know much of it, other than, I mean, getting to see Isabelle Huppert in a film is never a bad thing. Um, unless you're Christina and Sophia and saw that one movie that they saw at Cannes last year with
Oh
Isabelle
my
Huppert.
God.
What was that called again?
Oh, I don't even
The
remember. I've completely taken it out of my brain in every sense of the
You
word. It
guys
was,
like woke up at the crack of dawn to see this
yes,
movie,
we
and then
have to see Isabel.
we have to see it. We have to see it. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, what do we do? We could have slept. We could have slept. Um, so I'm hoping this is good. I kind of have a feeling that listen, not every movie in this lineup can be good. I feel like this might be the casualty, just because, Hardy's working out of his a little bit out of his depth,
Hmm.
kind of following the controversy. I'm curious about the cast, but I don't know. I don't know much about it. I'm kind of like I'm like a little bit of an arm's distance away from Farhadi at this point. But he's a very good filmmaker. But he can be a little hit and miss sometimes. So um curious to see how it plays, and if I'm proven wrong, I would love to be proven wrong here. I'd like to talk about a movie from Na Hong Jin called Hope, which stars Taylor Russell, Michael Fassbender, and Alicia Vikander, and um, as well as a ton of others, and it's about like this mysterious discovery is made outside the outskirts of a remote harbor town. The residents find themselves in a desperate fight for survival against something they have never encountered before. Very mysterious, very spooky. Don't know exactly what this movie is just yet, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Neon picked this up. Or maybe I'm wrong. I could double check there as well. But this was picked up this past week. A lot of people sort of buzzing about it. Going into the festival,
Yeah, I'm super
Christina.
curious. This is nothing. All I know is that the cinematographer is this Parasite cinematographer.
Yeah,
I know that Vikander is speaking Korean in it.
yeah.
It sounds really. Did you see The Wailing, his horror
I
film? Or
I have not seen The Wailing, but
I
I will
haven't
before.
either.
But I will before I step off that plane into Cannes.
That's one that's
Um,
on my list too. So, but I know lots of people who talk about it. Um, I think it was like from 2015 or something like that. Um, but yeah, this sounds interesting, but that's what I know about it.
yeah, no, and that's good enough for me, uh to get myself in, and very mysterious premise, and
I'm gonna
yeah,
read up and watch not Hong Jin's movies. I feel like that's sort of a blind spot for me that I'm gonna catch up on when we
yes,
get into
absolutely.
this. Do
Yes.
we
And
want to
yes,
mention? Oh, so
and
go ahead.
again, Neon did, and yes, I can confirm Neon did buy this 4 days ago
Oh,
leading into it. So they might potentially see something in this, if Neon, who's always trying to buy that Palm d'Or
they're
winner,
good at that.
they're good at that, and they're good at finding them, maybe a little bit before this time, rather than like when we were at the festival and every movie was bought by Neon, like literally.
Well, we were sitting there
While
like,
we were there, we were like literally about to go into a movie. Like, oh, Neon just bought every movie here, so
and it went well for them, you have to
it did
say.
it went okay for them. I think that there is something about like, okay, you guys are buying every movie and you're not giving them specifically, like enough of a platform, but somebody's got to buy these movies because other studios aren't, and it's a real shame.
Laszlo Nemes, the Hungarian director, also has a French language film. I think we can see what Terry is wanting to buy these major directors' French movies.
Yes,
It's
yes,
his
yes.
debut. This follows, it's in the French resistance member during the Nazi occupation of France, is what I know about it, Moulin. Um, Anything else you want to mention from the competition section? Or should we move on
Oh,
to in certain regard?
um, uh, yeah. I mean, there's a couple other selections that are very interesting to me, but we can move on. We can. I think we'll be good to move on.
We'll
Um,
definitely talk about those
the
while
ones that
we're
we
there.
haven't talked about, like a man of his time, which is the film starring I don't know his name because we don't say his name around Awardswatch. We just call him the hot lawyer from Anatomy of a Fall. Christina might know his actual name. And no, she's going to say the same thing as us, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, looks very good. Looks very buttoned up, sort of a period piece there.
Who's the
And
director of that one?
Emmanuel Marie,
Right, right, right there, I
who
guess.
did like a film called Zero Fucks Given and
Yeah,
in
Notre
Castle to
Salute. I
Castle.
couldn't find it. That's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
And so kind of looked interesting if you're going
Also
off just a
French Resistance.
very much French
The hot
resistance as
lawyer
well.
will look very good in this epica.
I mean, he looks like it looks very aged. Like like if you see the photo, it looks almost like it almost looks grainy and old fashioned, like almost like the brutalist era. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so, yeah, and pointy hats. So it just looked interesting on sometimes you just got to watch a movie because you're like the image looks good.
Hmm.
Hopefully the movie matches it. That's the thing about cans. Christina knows this. Plenty to discover. Plenty to
Yes.
discover.
And how much you think Terry very much felt like he was hoping the new James Gray movie will come into the competition lineup, the starring Scarlett
I
Johansson,
I
Adam Driver, and Miles Teller. What do you think?
I think Paper Tiger will be in here when it's all said and done. I think they were just waiting on French distribution for that film. It seems that it was just a paperwork matter, and that paperwork seems to like they're gonna push it through. So it should be good. Like I think it'll be ready for competition, and that would mean a second American in the race. And then, but he said more was coming outside of just the
Hmm.
obviously the sections that we know. So maybe there's one more title. Maybe there's some special presentations that we don't know about.
Any
I mean,
speculations you have?
I mean, it's actually Malik. No, I'm just kidding. Like
What?
no, I would love.
Let's just forget it already.
No, I'll never forget it. It's gonna happen, Christina, and we're gonna be there for it.
It's gonna happen,
Actually,
but for now, it's better to sort of be prepared for the disappointment that he just never
honestly,
comes.
honestly, I want selfishly. You ready? I don't want Malik this year. I want Malik next year. Like, because I think Marty's gonna be there with his new film.
Mm.
So Marty and Malik, maybe Todd Haynes. Like next year's gonna be a great lineup.
That's why Ruben
Like,
is waiting.
well, you just had to say it, didn't you? Like I mean, there is the threat of that still, around there, but I don't think it's ready. I don't know. There's, the, I really don't know necessary. I mean, like maybe he's holding out hope that Universal does throw him a bone because the press has been absolutely just obliterating the fact that this is like the most non-American
Hmm.
lineup of films in such a long time. I think that the press is doing a massive disservice because like this is an international film festival
Yeah, and it's also an
who get
incredible lineup. So,
it's an incredible lineup of really great auteurs, very interesting and fascinating cinema, and we're just like, well, there's no Americans there, so why should we care? And that's what it kind of sounds like. And it's just like, God, who the fuck are you people? Like, it's like it's not
says
all
the
about
man who will be watching basketball games while at
you know
Cannes.
what? But I'll be watching a Frenchman
Yeah.
play those basketball games. So the joke's on you, Christina. No, those basketball games are going to be on at like 2 a.m. in the morning. There's
Mm.
no way in hell I'm going to like,
Well,
2
you'll be
a.m.
up
French time.
bright and early to help us with the ticket.
Oh my God, tickets. Like there's, well, yeah, I mean,
All
I'm
right,
not
so
looking
you and
forward to
I,
that.
no,
You
no
know,
one is. You and I
no.
love Jane Schoenbrun's I Saw the TV Globe. I
Yes,
think we both had it on our best of the year list when
yes, it
that
was in
came
my
out. How
top
excited are
10.
you for Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma? I love
Very
this title.
excited. I think that this is top three films I'm looking forward to seeing at Cannes.
This is
I
the
just think
opening of the Uncertain Regard. Sorry, good.
yes. I no, I think Sean Brennan is just an incredible voice, and uh, this stars Gillian Anderson and Hannah Einbinder.
Gillian Anderson and Hannah Einbinder. Can you get any better than that for a teen slasher? I'm just like, this is so exciting.
And if you and I broke my rule, Christine. I did watch the trailer for this, like about a month back or whatever when it released. Movie looks good. They make good movies. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to tell you. Like
This is
I'm
one of
really
my top,
this
top.
is
I'll be first
like
in line if I can.
yeah. If you can, act can.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
What
I didn't
else
mean to
in
do it,
this?
but I did.
We have Jordan Firstman's first film in this section, Club Kid, New York set film that follows a washed up party promoter forced to take a child he never knew he had, more fathers and children. And
Sure. Um, I'm sure it'll be a masterpiece.
uh,
Like I don't know, like the Firstman like kind of rubbed me the wrong way last year when he made those snooty comments about heated rivalry, and then like two weeks later was like at an event with Hudson Williams and like trying to mea culpa the situation. I'm sure the movie will be fine. I'm sure it'll be this Eleanor the Great that we're all gonna like try to get tickets for, and then it's like a B minus to a C plus. The Uncertain Regard, I really haven't looked too much into it outside of a couple of those titles
Those,
because
yeah, me neither.
um, it's not as poppy as the last couple of years with notable titles, but I'm very curious to see some of these and start like really dissecting it here over the next couple of weeks. These are always usually the films that we find like last year was like The Plague and
Exactly where you find
Your
your
Beloved
pearls.
Splitsville was in this,
Oh God,
and
no.
but then there was Pillion was in this section, and My Father's Shadow, and yes, Eleanor the Great, and Urchin, and there were a
Hmm.
lot of films there that carry on. So it's more like the independent, small, first-time filmmakers find themselves in this category a lot. So
We'll get back to
good
that.
chance
We'll
for
have time to
discovery.
talk about
Yeah,
that. But why is Nicholas Winding Refn and out of competition with Her Private Hell? His first movie in like what, a decade?
yeah. Um,
Do
well,
we?
he did call me, and
So I just don't like to compete.
I didn't want to. Oh, please, that man. That man has the biggest fucking ego on the planet, maybe next to Ruben Ostlund. If you ever seen the great clip of Nicholas Winding Refn and William
Friedkin?
Friedkin
Yes, that's
and
amazing.
William Friedkin humbling him like
It's
nobody's
so good.
business,
Go,
has like
everyone
at
needs to
least three
check
or
that
four
out.
quotes I say on the daily
Hmm.
in there. Um, but yeah, I'm still very much looking forward to this film. I think it could be
Well,
I'm
Charles
very
Melton,
Charles Melton.
A Futuristic Japan. It's a thriller starring Sophie Thatcher and Charles Melton. Americans on a Deadly Mission.
Sounds interesting.
Hmm?
I like the Neon Demon that came out a couple of years ago. I don't know if you like that one or not.
It was okay. It wasn't mine.
Only God Forgives bad, but and I love Drive. I like most of his films. He himself is kind of a pain in the ass, but his movies are good. To pretty interesting if they're not good. I don't know why it's not in competition. I didn't know why Spike wasn't in competition last
Yeah.
year.
Oh,
I don't know why they do these things. They should have put Mission Impossible in competition last year, and then they could have given Tom Cruise 9 Palm d'Ors. I don't know. Sometimes they ask for it. Sometimes they don't think that film matches up with everything else, or they just want to platform it with no pressure on him. You know what I mean? After being on for such a long time.
we have some
I got
other Americans out of competition. That's where they are, maybe. Ron Howard has a documentary about Richard
yeah.
Avedon. Steven Soderbergh is premiering a documentary about John Lennon, The Last Interview, where he got some criticism for saying that there's going to be a lot of AI in his John Lennon, The Last Interview. That was unfortunate.
God,
Um,
it was just like a shot to the heart when he was just like when he was trying to, and then he doubled down.
yes.
He fucking doubled down on it and came out with like an interview like comments like literally the next day being like, why wouldn't I use this tool? I'm like, because it's fucking evil, Steven. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're the chosen one. Like you're the like I do get that like Soderbergh loves pushing the medium and using different tools. Like this is the guy that using
Well,
iPhones
everyone
and
hated him for
different digital
being
camera.
talking about streaming at one point. That was
Yeah,
the thing.
and
So I
and
guess
so I
he,
get all that, but AI is where you gotta just hold the line. You know what I
mhm.
mean? Like just kind of say, okay, I got limits to the shit that I'm doing. And so when I heard that, it really, I was just like, oh fuck, all right, well, he's gonna do that. There's also Christina. Which one are you looking forward to more, the Andy Garcia film or the John Travolta film?
Well, the Andy Garcia film Diamond his has a pretty stacked cast. Vicky Creeps, Brendan Fraser, Bill Murray, Dustin Hoffman, Danny Houston. Um, the John Travolta propeller one-way night coach. I I
Front
don't
row for
know.
that one?
That one worries me.
It worries me because it's an Apple movie that's literally going to be released 2 weeks later on the streaming platform.
This what? Why did
Yeah,
Terry is like, yes, we must have John Travolta with his
fuck if
Apple
I know.
movie.
See, this is what I worry about. And this is what I worried about a little bit with South by until they, had their change there, and they have a new person running who's going to be picking their films down the road. You're getting a lot of the times now where like these movies, a can shouldn't be a place where I'm seeing a movie that's coming out in 2 weeks. Like
But do you
honestly,
think
no film festival should be that way. Like people are paying way too much money and doing too much and taking up a spot. And I don't know, like, of the logistics of like he had to put this in because of the fact that like he couldn't get a big blockbuster, so he got a big
exactly?
name.
Is he feeling, nervous about not having Hollywood star? Is this like the Kevin Costner
Is this
horizon
the
of that
well
year?
that at least took 2 months before it fucking, like came out. Like this
And
we're
then
talking about
died,
we're
and
talking about
nothing
like
else came out.
it might be on our it might be on our screener app
Hmm.
before we step off the plane. Like that's what we're talking about here. And so it's very weird to see that happen here at
With John
Cannes. It's not.
Travolta directing his first film, I don't know about that.
It just seems very waste of time. That's what it just feels like to me. It feels like if what are we doing here? Like, at least with like Mission Impossible, you can justify like, yeah, it came out like a week later, but it's Mission and fucking Possible. Like it's Tom Cruise.
Exactly. I mean, that's
Now
just.
you're just getting the discount Scientologists. You know what I mean? Like it's like
But they do
it,
like planes.
that is very that unfortunately that's very true. I'm looking forward um to Bucking Bastards,
Yes.
the new film from Werner Herzog.
Herzog.
Um, Also, I'm not surprised that that's out of competition, or it's in the like the Cannes premieres.
Hmm.
Um, could be very fascinating. Both the Mara sisters in a narrative feature from Werner Herzog. Um, so yeah, that's one I think we should all keep an eye on there. What about you, Christina? Anything
Yeah.
else?
There's a few. The Quentin Dupieux. Sorry for not pronouncing that right. It's an absurdist comedy about an American industrialist played by Woody Harrelson attempting to reconnect with his estranged daughter, Kristen
Played
Stewart.
by?
Kristen Stewart.
Yeah,
But I mean, the
yeah.
attempts to reconnect with their goddamn estranged daughters. I mean, fathers of this generation, please start over, do it better.
I don't know.
This is like the 10th
Sounds like the
movie.
daughters are just as much as fault here. I'd like to see one of these where like the daughters are just absolutely vicious to the
Mm,
father. Like
right.
let's turn it back around. You know what I mean? Like the first one to flip that sort of narrative, that one's going to win the Oscar. You know what I mean? I'm
Someone
kidding.
compared this to the White Lotus. Apparently, they are like on this huge blowout trip to Paris, and this is where they're reconnecting. We'll see, but
We'll see.
I think that's pretty good. I will have to talk to you about Barbara and Peter Jackson.
Okay. Yes.
These are the two big names being feted with conversations and prizes. And are you happy about that?
Um Barbara, I think will be great. Though
That talk's going to be amazing.
that
We
talk's going to
hope,
be
depending on who does it.
that conversation could go all over the place. But in a fun Barbara way, not in a Robert De Niro, I refuse to speak about my career way.
Well,
Um,
he would have spoken about his career, but the interviewer wasn't
didn't want
asking the
to.
questions.
Well, I think De Niro would have been like, "So you were in Heat? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah." I mean, like, yeah,
Just let him
yeah,
talk
good
about
one.
Trump for an hour. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's always he when he gets riled up about Trump, it's very exciting. But Jackson's going to be an interesting one. We did Peter Jackson's series last year on Director Watch. It was so interesting about like Jackson was like at the height of his powers. He was talking about this like low budget sort of horror guy, made one kind of really invented drama with heavenly creatures, gets this massive blank check with Lord of the Rings, totally succeeds, doubles down on it, and makes King Kong because it's like the first movie he saw when he was a kid and it inspired him. Movie makes a ton of money, kind of underwhelms with the Oscars, makes maybe one of the worst films ever, with The Lovely Bones, and has now become like a found footage documentary guy,
Hmm.
as well as also making a crap ton of just, deteriorating valued films inside of Middle Earth with the Hobbit films and producing, two more Hobbit films and or two more Lord of the Rings films that are going to come out and all this other stuff. And it's like, it's so weird. And that's why, like, every single day we get away from those Lord of the Rings movies, I keep saying to the world, Peter Jackson is this generation's George Lucas. And he made a timeless trilogy that people will go to bat for Kingdom Come. There'll be people out there that are sort of skeptics about it or whatever, but universally, maybe one of the most beloved things ever. And he's going to coast on a career with that the entire time. I mean, like, no offense to Christopher McQuarrie, but Christopher McQuarrie got this award last year. This man made like four or five movies. Most of them are Mission Impossible films. The Way of the Gun's fine. Jack Reacher, like, come on. Like, at least Peter Jackson is somebody that's won an Academy Award, made some big movies and big risks. And the biggest thing, though, I will say about Peter Jackson is that he gave us that Beatles documentary.
Oh,
The bad thing is that I think that the popularity of that Beatles documentary spawned these
made
four
the
Beatles movies that
movies.
we're fucking getting. So there's like a Lord giveth, Lord take it away sort of thing with it. But I think it'd be very interesting to hear him talk about the state of cinema, the future of cinema, um, from his perspective. But
Who do you think's
so
going to
I'm looking. So
introduce him? I mean, or some other than Terry? You think someone else will be there to?
I mean, I would love. I mean, I would love it if, like, I mean, maybe they show us some Hunt for Gollum stuff or whatever that they've been working on. I mean, I would love. I mean, okay.
Steven walks
I
out.
I was gonna say Stephen Colbert walks out and they do the conversation at Cannes. I think no, it won't. No, because he'll still be doing his final show, so he probably wouldn't be able to do it. Uh, but I don't know.
That
We'll
would be
see.
fun, though. He can do
That
his
would be
final show from France.
Yeah, that would be great because, like, I'm already starting my vacation, which would be awesome. But no, I think that those are two perfect choices. Um, it will be very curious to see if if Terry gives an honorary one, like, like how he did last year with Spike, which I just thought, and I think he gave it to Denzel too. No, or he gave it to Denzel.
It was
No, he gave it to
Denzel. Yeah,
Denzel.
yeah.
And he gave one to Harrison Ford, years ago. Uh, would I don't know who would be that person this year.
Is it supposed to be
Uh,
Travolta, you think?
oh my God. I mean, Herzog
Yes, that
makes
would be nice.
sense. Almodóvar, you know, like those are very those feel about right.
Hmm.
Travolta, get out of here! Come on, no, like if that happens, I'll eat my hat on that, honestly. But that would be like, okay, what are we doing here? Like, it would be one of those where I'm looking at you being like, this place is so unserious sometimes. You know what I mean?
It's going to be a great fest.
Yeah.
Looking forward. I mean, it's always the worry about how are we going to have time to see everything we want to see and make all the new discoveries. That's always a bit nerve-wracking, but with the tickets. But I leave it up to you to plan our schedule.
I have to play in the schedule.
Not kidding.
Gee, what a
Well, you'll be up all night watching basketball at the same
that's
time.
true.
You
I
can
got
help us plan the schedule.
Don't act like you're not going to want to know what happened in the game
I will.
because
I
you
want to see
like
one.
Wimby too.
I do.
Christina may be an American football snob, but she loves basketball. We bonded over basketball a couple years ago during the Olympics, and I think she found something that she loved that she didn't know that she loved that as much, which was basketball. So, and getting to root for Wimby in his home country.
It's going to
God,
be massive in the
God,
streets of Cannes.
I might have to wear my Spurs shirt while I'm out there. Who knows? Like I might
Absolutely.
have to, to wear my Go Spurs Go stuff. You know what I mean? Who knows? And you know what? I'd
The
have every
most
right to do it.
American person in all of the Cannes lines will be you in a Spurs shirt.
You know what? You know what? Fair. Because there's going to be other people there with their sports teams. And you know what? They're not going to be in the same place. I'll tell you that. I can tell you that. But also, watch I say all this, and by the time can happens, they're eliminated from the playoffs, and
No,
so
that won't happen.
that
Anyway,
would be
Ryan, thank
that'd
you
be
so
sad.
much for joining me. We'll talk a few times before we see each other there, but tell everyone what's coming up on Awards Watch and the podcasts and everything.
Well, you can find my work at awardswatch.com. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Blue Sky at Ryan Mcquade 77. If you like podcasts, we do the main show, which is on Monday. We just did a Oscar retrospective over the films of 1991, which was Silence of the Lambs. It was a very fun conversation. A movie
Peter
that
and I
Christina
just
and I,
bought the Criterion. Just came
yeah,
yesterday. Ah, so we
a,
have
mo-
it.
a movie that you and I watched at Cannes last year, right
Yep.
before all the madness. We skipped the opening night film and we just went to a nice dinner and we watched the movie back at the Airbnb. And guess what, folks? We might be doing the same thing this year,
I think so.
which is totally fine because that movie
I
looks
do that every year.
it's a new tradition,
It is.
But and then also director watch. We're starting a new movie series this week over the films of Charles Burnett. It's a short series. It's only 3 weeks. But then at the start, I guess the start of next month or whatever, is when we're gonna have a big announcement, a big giant movie series for the summer that we're very excited on. Christina's going to guest on with us on one of those episodes. So yeah,
It's going to be huge.
it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be big.
Huge. Oh, don't
It's
do
gonna be
that.
epic. It's gonna be expansive.
Please.
It's gonna be bombastic. It's gonna be
I'd
everything you
rather
want and
you
then
do
some.
Pacino than that one, or even the French
Would
accent.
you like a croissant? Yeah.
And you can, of course, catch my shows on popcultureconfidential.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. And I'm on X and Instagram and everywhere else, Christina Biro. Thank you so much for listening and see you next time.